Uphill Recording Podcast, episode 184. Tonight's guest, Stuart Wicke.
Cars come left and cars come right, and I can't hear the voice of God. The water calls me soft and warm as it flows into the night. And I am alone. I am alone. Something's missing, something always will be. I don't need the difference. You don't need me. Lights on the highway tell me that she will rise again, that she will rise again, but she is alone. That I love you. Tired patience, see what you've done to me. Waiting on revival, I'll walk till my feet bleed. Lights on the highway tell me that she will rise again, that she will rise again. But are we alone? Are we alone? No, we're not alone. Are we alone? I can't believe that we are on our own. Mama, I love him. Mama, I love him. Mama, I love him, but not the way that I love you. Mama, I love him. Mama, I love him too. Oh, Mama, I love him, but I swear to God I love you too. I love you. I swear I love you too. I swear I love you too. Yeah, dude. Woo. Nice, man.
Stuart, man, welcome back.
Thanks. Good to be back.
Dude, killer.
Appreciate you having me.
No, thank you for that. Thank you for coming. Thank you for that song. That was awesome, man.
Thank you.
I got to tell you, the setup and you being able to really kind of do your thing instead of be pigeonholed to just by yourself, I think it opened you up, man.
Yeah.
That was great, man. Tell me a little bit about that song.
Yeah, that's an older one actually. We started playing that because I think Scott reminded me that I wrote that.
I like that song a lot.
Yeah,
you got a lot of tricks on that, man. It's a lot of syncopation between what you all were doing, so I can imagine you like that one.
Yeah, that's fun time.
Yeah, I wrote that in college. I can't believe it's been that long ago. Probably 8 or 9 years ago. And I was just, I was moody, 20 years old. Everything's dark and, minor sounding. And I was going to school for jazz, so it has all these syncopations, and, it has gone through a lot of different lifetimes as different versions of that song. And I think this one is probably my favorite one right now, because I played it by myself on acoustic guitar, and it just does not hit the same.
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
Yeah, that definitely has some hits to it. Definitely gives you a vibe. Killer tune, man. Earl.
I'm glad to be back.
Hey, welcome back,
Glad
man.
to be here.
Dude, glad to have you back 2 in a row.
I know, it's great. It's good to meet you, Stuart.
Yeah,
we were talking
likewise.
before we started, we've been friends through the Instagram for a long time, and now I get to meet you. So it's good to see you in real life too. Great song, man. I've seen your videos and stuff on you post stuff all the time. So I've seen a lot of stuff on Instagram. Yeah, it's good to see you. I feel like I've already know you a little bit. So yeah, good to be here for sure. Nothing better to do on a Monday than this.
That's true.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Truly can work.
That's the best part about Instagram and stuff like that, especially if you can't get out a ton and don't get to meet a lot of you get out a lot. It seems like you try to get out once or twice a week to watch some shows, but for people like me who don't and have I have this, so fortunately I get to meet so many people that I feel like same deal. You know them because you watch what's going on, you watch their life, you watch their art, you listen to it, you kind of become a fan, and then all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, now I get to hang out with them. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like
some
one of the neater things
parasocial relationships are okay.
Yeah, right.
So Scott, what have you been up to, man?
Ooh, recently employed again for the first time since the end of March.
Hey, congratulations.
So that's been nice.
Or not, depending on if you like the job.
So far, yeah, it's good. I get to carry a lot of heavy stuff and use tools in my hands, and which sounds maybe like some people are like, oh, I don't want to do that ever, but I've never had a job like that. So it's actually it's really cathartic to get out there and after months of not having a job, which at first is pretty great. You got some savings, you cash in a little bit of your retirement, get denied unemployment. and then you start to, as the months wear on, you're like, I've had a lot of fun. I'm starting to, got some bills coming up, don't like that. Wouldn't be scary if I had money coming in, but I didn't, but I do now.
Hey man,
so
you got you got a skill set that could be easy money for you right there.
Well, I do host a weekly jazz night at the
That's
Willow
not
Tiger.
how you make money playing drums, man.
No, it's not. It's not.
Number one, you're already into the jazz, and that's great.
But I lack the patience to teach. So.
No, don't even have to do that. You're a hired gun. Who needs a drummer? Everybody needs a drummer.
It's true.
You still got to be loyal. There's a loyalty, but if somebody wants to pay you $100 to come out and play a couple hours.
Yeah, during the joblessness, people were like, "You want to play?" I'm like, "Yeah." I don't know. I was still always doing something, but I was like, "Yeah, sure." I don't have a other commitment.
Yeah.
I'm in now 4 bands. Usually I try to keep it around 3, but I joined another project that's going to be pretty cool. So I'm like,
You got to stop.
We'll figure it out.
You got to stop playing for door deals, man. Making $8 a night ain't worth it.
No, it's not. But luckily we're a little past that most of the time.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
10 or 12.
Dude, guarantees are awesome, aren't they?
Yeah, I never get them. But
If they have the money to give them to you.
You were like me.
Yeah, where are you playing then?
Yeah, me? I was going to say, not me, because that's why I don't do it. I need a guarantee, man. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what I need at all. I don't need any money to play. I'm used to losing money in anything I love doing. Trust me. Music, guitars, podcasts, golf now, evidently.
That's the pipeline.
Yeah. Stuart, so what's been going on with you, man?
We've been playing a lot. That's kind of the main thing. I've been writing a lot, trying to get some demos recorded so we can get after some new stuff next year. My busy season at work is November, December, so I'm like, okay, if I can get all this stuff ready, we can hit the ground running in 2024.
Yeah.
But
Get those guarantees.
yeah, get those guarantees.
Yeah, tell me where you find those guarantees.
Yeah, I know. If I find it, I'll
yeah.
let you know.
But there's always a guarantee you're not going to make much money if you play music. I mean, that's
yeah,
a
it depends on what
guarantee.
kind of guarantee you
Yeah, there's guarantees everywhere, you guys. You just got to know what you're looking for.
want. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to tour, but I'm not a great manager
Yeah.
for myself. So,
Well, you're an artist first, obviously.
Right.
So, since the last time you came in here, you released them, which is just in, I believe, April, released a full-length record, right?
yeah.
So, I mean, you're talking about a quick turnaround to start recording and doing some stuff. I've really been thinking a lot about releases and new music and how. I think we even talked about it last episode a little bit, like what it looks like now and how to really do it and have success with it. And that's kind of interesting that you're at a spot where you just released a full length album. I think you released a single or two before that, right?
Yeah, I did.
So you've tested those ways of doing it. And I don't think you really did you slow roll the record where you released a song and then a song next month and a song, then an album?
Yeah, it was about 3 weeks apart for each of the songs. And then I think the first single was like beginning of March and then the full record was end of April. So it was I'm always self-conscious. I don't want to be bothering people about the same thing for too long. So I took I don't know, whatever that is, 8 weeks, 2 months-ish, to kind of space that out. Yeah, and actually, since you mentioned it, when you asked me what I had going on, I completely forgot that I put a record out in April.
I mean, yeah, you're talking a few months ago, man. It's not like you're.
Yeah.
I mean, how you?
Yeah.
Wait, where was the release show for that one? Was that the?
That was at
Philip Neri?
Hallsopple.
Oh, that was the Hallsopple.
Yeah.
That's a cool spot.
Yeah, I like that place. I did that one solo, I think, because
Oh.
I don't remember why you weren't there, but I don't know. No hard
I
feelings.
mean, you're unemployed. You didn't have anything going on.
I know.
Obviously, you could have been there,
Yeah.
man.
Maybe one of the
Oh,
9
Phourist
other
was
bands.
playing somewhere. I don't remember what the gig
that's
was,
right.
but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I put a record out last spring when I was here last, and then this spring, and I just feel like this kind of whatever digital hellscape we're in kind of calls for people to be always in the forefront. So I'm trying to have something to, like you said, I'm very active on Instagram. A lot of times I feel like I don't have anything to say. I'm just like, remember when I did this? Just whatever gets you kind of out there. And it doesn't come naturally to me. So, it's a little bit nice to hear that it doesn't come across as disingenuous or anything.
Not at all, man. Yeah, it's hard. I'm not someone who likes to post stuff either. I have a tough time. It just feels, I don't know, I don't like it. Like it's easy to take a picture and post it, but I just don't like to, I don't know, it's weird.
I feel like I gotta have a reason. I need to have like something to actually
tell
people.
It's like, does anyone
look,
care that I'm just at wherever? Like,
Right.
I don't know, like hanging out. Like,
Look at
I
my
post a lot
meal.
of stories, but yeah, I like your content. Yeah, you post a lot of stuff, man. It's always, it doesn't feel like intrusive in any way.
Well, thank you.
The self-promotion, I think, is obviously one of the hardest things with being a musician, especially if, like a songwriter. A lot of times that it's kind of on them to not only write, if you do get a band together, do that, make the calls to the gigs and get those secured and get the studio time. And it feels like a lot of times that's on the person that is, generally the writer, like you guys in that situation. So do you find that with that being the hardest part, I mean, is that the biggest hurdle for everybody?
I hear that a lot. Just because I think a lot of singer-songwriters are sensitive people, introverts, and
Nerds.
nerds. Used to getting shoved in lockers, and it's just kind of intimidating to go cold call a venue and be like, "Hey, I've got something you want. You just don't know it yet."
Yeah.
I don't know if I have that. I don't know if I can guarantee that. So, I do hear that a lot from, especially songwriters in like kind of folk or like less popular musical idioms, whereas like if you're writing like pop songs and you can get a crowd to dance for 3 hours, and they're going to book you probably. But if you're writing slow, sad acoustic songs and you want to play those for
Yeah.
even 45 minutes,
It's
sometimes
hard.
it's hard to get a
That's
foot in the
tough.
door.
Yeah, for sure. Even if you put, like, even when I'm booking shows, like, I try to have like a lineup ready to go and be like, can we do like a singer songwriter night? And
Yeah,
I try to pick
that's a
the
great
best
idea.
people, and even then they're like, how about
Yeah.
like Sunday at 9? I'm like, fuck. All right, I'll make it. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, you have to wear a lot of hats. It's like, it'd be great if like you could just like write and sing the songs and everything else just happen. But it's
Right.
like for most people that's not the case. Like even the other day I needed a bio for something and I didn't have one, and I was like started trying to write it. I'm like, I feel weird about
hate
this.
writing
I ended
bios,
up going and finding like a free AI thing and just type in some shit and just made it.
Then
I'm
you
like,
have to
Nice.
describe
yeah, I
yourself.
hated it.
Just
So I'm like,
like,
AI
oh.
made it. Like I don't know.
Generally,
It's
we are.
weird.
You hate
Yeah.
yourself anyway. It's
Yeah.
like, here, let's try to pick good shit. Where's
Yeah.
this going to come from? What lies do I have to tell the world now? I swear, man. Yeah. The whole, I just kind of been fascinated about the writing and the promotion of that, and just talking about Instagram and things like that, and trying to be relevant is so unnatural. I think the word for it's unnatural.
Yeah,
It is.
I'd agree with that.
And I feel like what are you about? Like it sounds like you're about I'm 30. I don't know.
yeah, I'm 28.
It's like like I feel like a little too old for TikTok and stuff.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
don't
I
feel
feel-
comfortable. People are like, you should
No,
post
I mean,
TikToks,
so-
and on a rare occasion I'll do just like an acoustic song on TikTok. But I can't just be like, well guys, I got the merchant or whatever. I feel weird.
Yeah.
Like
do you
so
like
it's-
that YouTuber voice?
I know. That's exactly. Yeah, that's what you have to
wrote
do.
a new song. It's like cool, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's so awkward. It's hard to be like try to make it entertaining, but not like over the top or
Yeah.
cheesy, but not be boring as shit. Like I don't.
I
Like
agree.
It. I just like it's weird. I don't like doing it.
And you do your best not to make a video playing a song like on your bed in terrible lighting. Just like, I'm going to play this song. Everybody's playing.
Well,
Let
it
me
used
do
to
it.
be, YouTube in
I've done it.
2006. That used to be all you had to do.
Yeah,
It
you
was
just
like,
sat there.
It could be dark,
240p
sound like
in all its
garbage,
glory.
right? And you'd get discovered on YouTube because it
Well,
was like brand new and
Right now, the
there was
thing
no
is,
algorithmic push or anything.
number one, you got to have a good song, but number two, you got to play it outdoors in the woods. Fortunately, we're in the woods right now.
That is the
But
way.
if you do that,
That's
you're
the
bound.
ticket, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
part of the ticket. You
Honestly,
definitely still have to have a good song.
The TikTok stuff
But
that you mentioned,
man.
like, you'll scroll through, I'll see, my algorithm's like, you're into music, so here's like a random band, and it might be pretty good, but
Mhm.
they've got 2 likes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all their videos have nothing, but then you'll come across like someone just playing guitar in the woods, it'll have a lot more.
Right.
I don't know, I've seen some bands do pretty well, but you kind of have to like do something outside of that. There's a we went and saw Clout Chaser the other night.
yeah,
I
yeah.
found them through TikTok. They're like a rowdy math rock duo out of North Carolina. But people in the math rock scene will constantly be like, that's not real math rock. And then they'll just post
That math rock does not add up. We do not
They'll
accept
post
your
their comment.
equation, and you failed.
they'll post their comment and just play Every Breath You Take and just make the AI voice read Math Rock Police. And it's just like, and it's funny every time. And so they get a lot of people like following them that way. I don't know. You gotta have to have.
I mean, having a gimmick like that or something,
Yeah.
where it's like,
You have something else, and
Yeah.
I
But it does
can't
have
be
to be
funny
engaging.
online. I'm not good at being funny online.
It's not even online. It's being funny with like having to be funny. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do this thing. Well, if I don't get it, I'm gonna retake it. Let's do it until I get it right, because it's got to look good and it's got to be funny. It's got to come off the right way.
I have to hear my voice 8 million times.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like
funny.
if you're doing like live and you're just funny, that's something. But like,
Right.
it just
Scripted
feels so
It's
yes.
difficult. Yeah, you don't want it to be fake. I mean, like, I don't like
Yeah.
that. I don't want to, like, feel like it's a phony.
Gets
I don't know.
weird.
It doesn't.
Gets
I
weird.
don't know. It's hard. I don't like it. I
So you
wish
just have
that
to be
could just write
really
the song.
serious.
Yeah, but
I was gonna not to turn this away, but
no, please.
One thing I've also noticed, I mean, it's kind of there's two camps. I've talked to a lot of people lately who aren't on social media at all. You
Mhm.
know, they're like, it's
Wizards.
arcane people with magical powers.
Sorcerers.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people I know don't promote anything on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or TikTok. They're just like, yeah, I play shows and meet people, and if they know me, they know me. If they don't, they don't, and I'm happy with it that
Yeah.
way. And I really respect that. It just feels like I need to have a foot in each door, kind of. But I feel like by doing that, I'm not really going whole hog on either one,
Yeah, it's tough. And like we talked last time, like that's kind of one of the cool things about music is there's like 1,000 ways to do something, and everybody's different. You don't know what's necessarily right for you, even if it works for somebody else. So, yeah, like I don't know. I feel like those stuff. I feel like social media is important to some extent. That's how I book most of my stuff and reach out to people and
me
stuff.
too.
I know a lot of people don't like do that, but I've booked tons of things just through Instagram or met people like you or other people just like make connections.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I mean,
the worst part is you get sucked in.
Right. Yeah,
That's
and
like the worst part about it.
I got really sucked in probably in 2020, 21 when, it was like a lifeline to what was going on in town. Like not that really anybody was playing a lot of gigs in 2020, but
a lot of live stream gigs.
A lot of live streams and a lot of like bedroom.
Well, didn't you do
things.
Depressing era.
live stream every night or something like that?
I did a live, every Tuesday night. I was doing that for a while.
Every Tuesday night.
That
Those
was
were fun. I love
fun.
those.
I might do that again this fall, just because I've got my schedule is different in the fall, and I've got the time to do that again. And I'm like, that was fun. I miss doing that.
Well, I mean,
and I've got a lot of songs to learn. So
you know what? You get better, because you can get worse, as I've found out. I mean, you can. The longer you go without singing, the worse your voice gets. The longer you go without playing, it comes back quick. It's a muscle that can turn around. But not doing it is decay. You're decaying the skills. And every time that you have a schedule like that, where you're like, every Tuesday I'm going to do this, and I really like. It's nice to as a musician to go, I'm going to do this, and then you have a moving target of like, I'm going to do different songs every week, shit that I don't know, but I'm going to learn it, or give yourself a goal. But even if you didn't do that and did like most people, me included, play the same song for 10 years in a row or longer, just because you know them and that's what they are. Even if you did that, you're still working that muscle, getting better, improving.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything is something, right? I mean, it's not. And that's exactly it. Is like, it was just a way for me to hold myself accountable, because a lot of those live streams, Scott would tune in sometimes, my wife would tune in sometimes because she was working nights, so not all the time.
Or she was upstairs watching.
But a lot of times it was just me singing into my phone by myself. But it was like, you know what? I feel better that I made myself do this, because I wasn't going to practice tonight if I didn't.
They're saved somewhere too. Like they're always there.
Oh yeah, they're always on there.
Go back to. And
that could be a good and a bad thing,
Well, if it didn't, some of them didn't make the cut. I deleted it.
Good, smart man. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I don't know about you guys either, but even, and it may not have caught up with you yet, but if I have an hour set by the third song, we rolling. Might take you a minute from time to time. I'm not one of those warm up guys though. I'm pretty bad at that. Anyway,
I'd sing like a couple songs before I leave the house, my first two in the set list, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am. I sing on the way to the.
That's it. Yeah,
I take the long way, go around the block a couple times.
I did a radio show recently where I had to be. It was in like Irving, and I had to drive like a couple hours to get there, and I'd leave at 5:30, and I woke up and I'm like, oh shit, I'm not gonna be able to sing the whole way there. I'm just like trying to like warm up. That was the longest I've ever warmed up my voice. I'm like, I'm gonna sound like shit at 7 in the morning. I'm trying to hit. My first song has a note that I never hit anyway, and I'm like,
that will be song number 2 today, and we're gonna warm up with Johnny Cash, "Hurt." I hurt my. That's how you started low, baby. All right, man. You want to play another one for us?
Sure, let's do it.
What do you got?
Let's do this. Everything else we're doing today. We started with that old one. Everything else we're doing is new, brand new. So,
all right, what's this one?
This is called "How Did I Get Here." This is, well, I don't really know what to say about it. It's so new. I don't really have anything prepared about it. So.
Heart was never broken much. There was nothing to repair. Went ahead with beginner's luck. Just ran your fingers through your hair. farther it folds. Nowhere to stop and nowhere to turn. Barely staying in control. How did I get here? How did I get anywhere at all? How did I get here? How did I get anywhere at all? Never wanted to complain. It was easy to ignore till the debt collector came, hoping to settle up the score. How did I get here? How did I get anywhere at all? How did I get here? How did I get anywhere at all? Oh. Yeah, man. Dig that one.
Whew. All right, man. Stuart, you got to tell me a little bit about that tune, man. That's a killer song. I love the melody line. I like stuff that goes to that odd chord change. It's not just straight and easy. That's amazing, Bourbon. So tell me about that song a little bit, man.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really remember writing that one. That one, I don't know. The end of 2021 was not really a good time for me, and I ended up with a bunch of random pieces of songs that I ended up putting together in different ways, and that was one of them. And I was listening to a lot of early 2000s, late 90s, mid 90s alt rock at the time.
Dude, you did it to yourself. If you're having a bad time in 2020, you're talking about how you went through that E minor college phase and you put yourself right back in it. No,
Did you write that before or after we started covering Black Hole Sun?
Before, but kind of because I wanted to.
Oh, nice. I've always wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Killer tune, though. Definitely dig. Yeah, man. It's just such a difference hearing you open, being able to do you.
Yeah.
Because I really felt you were kind of, now hearing you with the band, I felt like you were kind of more in a box by yourself.
I
Does that
think
make sense?
Yeah, no, and I think I didn't really realize that until I started playing with. Originally, actually, last year we also had a bassist playing with us, and rather than take the time to teach someone a bunch of songs I wanted to play, because I'm very capricious. I will just decide I want to play this. Let's just here's the set list like the night of. So rather than do that to somebody and put someone through that, the bassist that played with us, Matthew, who moved to Arkansas, suggested that I look into getting an octave pedal, because he was a jazz guitarist actually, and I was a jazz bassist, and we kind of switched places to be in this project. So he was used to kind of accompanying himself with an octave pedal already, and he was like, "I know you can figure it out." it's like, I don't know. So yeah, it has been a miracle.
It sounds great.
Yeah, it really does.
I'm always amazed that it can do. I mean, and this isn't even like a new one. This is the OC3. I don't even know how old
That a
this
Boss?
thing is. Yeah,
An old Boss, man. Hey, those
it's
things
built
are,
like a tank.
you throw it against that wall and put it up, it probably sound better.
Yeah.
They are indestructible.
Yeah.
So do you feel like your songwriting has changed since you started playing with a band?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I know we can do more. There's a lot. I don't have to think of like, okay, this. Because I mean, I've been recording. I'm looking forward to recording. The reason I mentioned that earlier is that this will be the first time that Scott and I have recorded something for this
cool
project coming up. So I'm really excited to do that. But Still Life and We Never Had Tomorrow, the two last records, those are all me messing with instruments in my basement. So there is bass, drums, keyboard, synthesizer, all kinds of stuff on those records, but it's always with in the back of my head, how am I going to tear this down? Like all this stuff is not necessary. And now it's like, okay, I have the freedom to write parts that like actually matter.
Yeah.
Basically, like, where it's like, the drum part is integral to a song like I Love You Too, or
Yeah.
that like descending bass riff on that is integral to that song, where it wouldn't sound good on an acoustic guitar. It wouldn't sound good by myself, probably.
So are you writing all the arrangements for all the instruments for the most part?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Cool.
As up to this point, a lot of the newer stuff, is not. I'll bring it in and kind of be like, here's kind of what I think, and then Scott's a better drummer than I am, so so it ends up. Yeah.
I was just curious, because you play all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen videos. You like play all kinds of stuff on Instagram. So
like the last couple records, those were all arrangements that I
and you
wrote.
you produce those yourself too?
Except mastering.
I
don't have the equipment. I don't have the ears to master, but yeah, I do.
Cool. That's
all
dope,
the mixing
man.
downstairs.
All right. So when you do you think that by doing the records, kind of taking on the instrumentation of everything prior to, and not necessarily being having anybody play on it other than yourself, do you think that having like Scott, for example, come in and do some things that you don't hear? Do you feel like that you find the players that hear something different than what you hear, that make it not only their own, but better in a different way, that kind of make the song more of a whole as itself?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think, I for a lot of throughout 2022 when I was working on Still Life, I was talking to a lot of other songwriters and kind of getting my foot back into the scene and figuring out what everyone was up to. And one thing that I was very aware of is that like, oh, everybody's collaborating, and I'm just kind of in my world doing all these songs by myself because I have like kind of a control issue. So
Yeah.
So that's been something that's been kind of hard to unlearn, is like, I've played with Scott for 16 years?
Yeah, since
14 years.
Since high school.
Yeah. So, I have utmost trust in what he's going to do. So, it's.
I was not very good back then either. So I'm glad it's gotten better.
Well, neither was I, man. So, yeah, I mean, it's. I'm not, at the point where I have like a rotating cast of people that I'm bringing into play on the records yet, but I would love to be able to kind of let go of what I hear and let other people kind of have a hand in what's going on. Cause that's,
That was going to be my next question, was if you were going to have people come sit in on the next record or not.
Yeah, I think so. Cause I mean, there are some really killer organists and synthesizer players that I,
dope. Yeah. That would sound great on your shit, man.
Yeah.
That'd be
and
really cool.
I play keyboard, but I'm limited in what I can do, and I'm limited in the gear that I have. And I know that somebody else is going to hear something crazy over, especially if they've got like a jazz piano background and they know all these chord shapes that
I
I
don't
don't
even
even know what to do with. So.
I don't know. Is it necessarily? But is it necessarily that, or is it somebody that when they come in and you hear what they're doing, you go, yeah, they get it. I mean, I don't.
I think it can be both. Depends on the person and the player and what you're doing.
Yeah.
I would say, and this is just like I've seen, like I said, your videos of you playing a bunch of stuff.
Mhm.
I'm sure the fact that you can play a lot of stuff makes it a little easier to like direct people on what to do.
He can speak the language.
Yeah,
Yeah,
be like,
he knows the
hey, like, I
language.
kind of play it like this. Like, I was in the studio recently and I needed a horn section, and I was kind of working remote, and the dude sent me like a demo just from like his house, and it was fucking. I did not like it, and I was like, shit. And what am I gonna do? So I tried to like MIDI it out at my house, and it sounded like garbage, and I was like, we're fucked. And so I messaged him. I'm like, I think we're just on different pages, man. Like, I don't really know how to communicate what I want. I'm not like a musician that way. And I'm like, the only thing I can do, and it's silly as shit, I can just hum the melody that I'm thinking through the track, and you can just play it. And so I did that, and I felt like an idiot. And then he sent back like exactly what I wanted. I was like, oh, shit, cool. Yeah. I was like, okay, well, I'll just sometimes too. Yeah, like it's great if you're good enough to play everything, but it's cool too. Like sometimes I think as a musician, whether you're booking stuff or whatever, you have to just like
dumb it down.
Swallow your pride and just be like, it's like, but I'm bum,
Right.
and you're like, God, I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, it is. I'm still self-conscious about doing
Yeah,
that.
it was like I hated it when I did record it. I didn't even like listen back. I knew it was kind of what I wanted. I'm like, just sent it. I'm like, it's kind of like this, man. Like, I'm sorry, and he's like, no, this is fine. So I'm sure it helps. Like, if you did have people sit in, like, if you're like, it's kind of like this, but like do your own thing, you can like do that.
But
like,
not too much.
It is hard. Like, too
much. Yeah.
Are you? Yeah. So you're gonna record this album yourself too?
I'm not sure actually about that one yet either. Because I don't know. We haven't actually talked about this, but I think you mentioned possibly doing like a full day at La La Land.
I love Ann. Like, it's so fun to work with Ann.
Ann mastered Still Life.
Oh,
and
cool.
I absolutely loved how it sounded. So I'm like,
I finally got some experience recording there for some other folks. I was like, oh, it was fun. Well, that's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it there. Ann's easy to work with. Like, it's been all my stuff I've made has been with Ann. I really like what she does.
Nice.
Nothing but amazing things to say
Yeah, I've
about
never
her.
really heard anything say bad things.
Nobody.
So.
Yeah, and she's
Until now.
and she's worked with a lot of my favorite local
that's how I
bands
ended up
too.
there.
So
Is like when I went to make music, and there was a few records that were made there that I'm like, I love these. Like, there was a record by Jake Shears who was in like Scissors that was made there, and I really liked it. But there's a bunch of local stuff. Like, I told her I like Tyler Lance Walker Gill, so she hired his fucking band to come play on my shit, and I was like,
Nice.
oh, this is dope.
And there,
That's awesome.
They're
She's great. You can
amazing.
tell- yeah, it's awesome. Like, to work with Ann. I always tell everybody around town. Like, I mean, I'm very biased, but I think she's the best around town. And it seems like all the people that are doing well, like, go to Ann. So I think that means something too. So
yeah, definitely.
All right,
cool. I'm
fellas.
stoked to hear it.
It is time
Oh yeah, the
for
questions.
Weston's questions, you guys.
I
So
got
both these are for both of you. So answer them as you see fit.
Cool. I'm just gonna ask like left to right, but the first question is just tell us something non-music about you that we should know. And Scott, you can go first.
Oh, that's like my whole personality. Let's see. Well, I talked about it earlier, but I'm finally a job haver again. Pretty cool.
Job haver. I finally pay taxes again. I'm back to.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Cut that.
Just kidding, IRS. I love you. And you're cool and great.
Now you've really overstepped your boundaries. Cool and great, IRS, all same sentence. Come on, dude.
You're right. I'm floundering.
Dude, I feel like in my set, I always tell people my hobby used to be music, but now music's like more than a hobby. So my only fucking hobby is smoking weed, and so like, I don't have anything else about me that is that like that's the main thing. That and work. So
I don't know. I love a good old Fitzgerald and Ale 8, and I recently became an owner of a pair of Crocs for the first time. And
Welcome to
I've seen the light.
club, man.
When
They're
did those,
amazing, aren't they?
I like them.
I'm telling you.
When did those come back?
Post Malone wore
I'm
some.
not
something.
there yet.
Once the teens were like, oh, these are actually comfy. I think they
It's not
started to
about
come
look,
back.
man.
It ain't
It's
about
like
the
I'm
look.
wearing Hey Dudes right now. They're all right, but they're comfortable too.
Comfortable shoes.
Crocs are ridiculous, but they're comfortable. They're great for the lake. That's about it.
Yeah. Oh, what
yeah, I
else?
think I got about 10 more years before I give up that much.
I mean, you don't even.
I never thought
I'm
I
going
would.
closed-toed until I'm 55.
I never thought I would, but
I got my
Until my
Crocs.
toenails
I
are
was at
thick
the
and
beach.
yellow. they're gonna stay hid, and then it's free for all.
I don't know, I like shirts with snaps instead of buttons. That's where
You
I'm
do
at.
actually, and they look good.
This one's my
Yeah.
my late '80s Garth Brooks tour shirt.
Yeah.
I blame it all on your roots, dude.
Yeah, I did show up in boots, unfortunately.
Those are boots, man. Those
I
are
won't
like
ruin
boots.
your black tie affair.
Those are boots. Those aren't boots.
Oh, they're not boots. No, I'm
Those are
not scooting
boots.
or boogieing in
No,
those.
you're not. All right, Stuart.
I do actually still have one hobby despite doing this as much as I do, and that is board games. So
Board games.
I'm always down if anyone's watching this and does not have anyone to play board games with.
You're a board
Hit me up.
game master,
I'm a
huh?
board
Favorite game.
gamer.
Yeah.
Or if you
Man,
had like a couple.
I'm just not good at picking. There's a war game that's set in space. It's like an expansion / war / exploration game called Eclipse. That's usually like 4 to 6 players, and it's like 3 to 6 hours.
I was gonna say
I
that
remember-
sounds like a long game.
I remember
As
playing
soon
that
as you
for
started
4
talking
hours
about
once.
that game, I was like, I would never play that
Expansion.
game.
Yeah.
I love. Yeah, that's
So you're down.
that's
You're
my
for now.
world. Yeah.
Cool.
Interesting. I like puzzles.
Yeah.
That's an old school thing to like, man. Board games. That's pretty cool.
I
Are you like good at chess?
no.
Checkers?
I actually haven't played checkers in a long time. I played chess a lot in high school, and I always lost.
I haven't played checkers since I've been to Cracker Barrel last.
Are you good at the peg game? I could never.
Or are you an ignoramus?
I'm an ignorant. I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. Every now and then I guess like people. There's a fucking pattern, but I can't remember it. And so I just do it.
It's
and
just a
like,
memory game.
I can't do it.
Every time I sit down, I'm like, oh, I think I remember, and I'm like, 2.
Yeah. Oh, if I got 2, I'd be stoked. I'd be like pretty smart.
It gets worse as you
just don't
keep
want to
trying.
leave 4 or 5. Yeah.
14.
Just killing time until my
I get
half
more
fried
than I
chicken
started
shows
with.
up.
All right, number 2. What
Yeah.
you got there, brother?
Yeah, well, same way, Scott. We'll start with you. Tell us just about like a nightmare gig or just like something embarrassing that's happened to you on stage.
I think we
So-
have the same answer to that.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, God.
This is even better.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I've been through a few, but let's see. Outside of like not getting paid,
Yeah.
and that happened like recently
Fuck
at
that.
venues that shall not be named.
Those
a venue
venues
that shall
should
not
be named.
But even though we brought like all the fucking people,
Mm.
you're welcome. Anyway, love y'all. And let's see. Probably like the early Phourist touring days. Those are like my first shows, and they've also been some of the most nightmare shows because we didn't know what we were doing, and we were like, "Let's tour in January."
Oh, yeah. Everybody tours in Chicago in January, right?
Yeah, it was
Like, man, we're booking all these shows up north. It's crazy.
The Dakota run.
well. This one is maybe not the most nightmare, but it does have the most fun outcome. You know the nightmare one that you'll probably tell, which is also another one. But we played at the 5 spot in Nashville. I'm name dropping. I don't care. And this was, I think, the second time we ever played in Nashville, and the first time was great. So I was thinking, like, oh, cool, this will be like that again. So we get there, and they had not promoted the show at all, and the local band didn't really either. So we played to them and their girlfriends, and then
At least they sat in there.
No kidding.
yeah. We did have like actually we did have a couple friends drive down. I think Zach and Kaylin drove down because Zach was in town
yeah.
from New York, and
I remember that.
weird time for them to do that because we immediately drove back after the show. But
Was that the one that they wouldn't let me into?
no,
'Cause-
that was Indianapolis.
No, that happened in Nashville because Kaylin and I went
Oh no, they
and
did
got
that
pizza.
to you too. There,
'Cause I was like
Yeah.
19 years old, and Kaylin and I was just fine. I'm just gonna go get dinner, come
forgot
back to our
about that
set and
part.
leave.
Jeez, I had forgotten about that. Well, we didn't get paid. I think they might have given us like cheap or free-ish drinks, and I luckily had closed my tab because as we go to leave, the guy was like, "So there's a production fee. It's $175."
Dude. Oh.
And I was like, "Cool, let me go talk to the guys real quick." And I was like, "Hey, does everybody have their stuff loaded up?" And they were like, "Yeah."
Like,
And I was like, "Cool. I just have to go grab one more thing, and then we have to leave right now."
Fuck yeah.
So-
Yeah, it's like I left the production fee back
Yeah.
in Louisville. Like,
I
fuck
went
yeah.
in
My
and
production fee was paid in gas.
Yeah.
I went in and took their house snare drum stand, and I used it for probably 8 more years until it broke a few months ago. And I'll never play there again. That was maybe not the most nightmare gig, but it's the one that makes it.
Sounds like a good gig, dude. You got a free stand out there, bro.
Yeah, 2 drink tickets, no pay.
Yeah. Most of the nightmares happen after the gig, or sometimes before the gig.
I've got a nightmare gig that the whole night was a nightmare. And
I love it. Let's hear it.
This is also in Nashville. Man, I could go on about Nashville, man, but this one was
not fun to be there.
East Nashville, at a place called Fat Bites. PHAT.
Oh my! I thought you were going to tell the Melody Inn story. I'm glad
the
it's
Melody
the Fat
Inn
Bite
is a good story, but this is I can't top this.
Story.
This is in a suburb of Nashville, so this is like in a strip mall. Like imagine like Hurstbourne Parkway kind of suburb.
You might find like a Jason's Deli.
Yeah, I mean, like it was like right next to an Ace Hardware in a strip mall.
Honky Tonk, Jason's
Like-
Deli, Ace Hardware. That's
Yeah,
right.
sounds about right. MMA spot right next to those. You know, like,
So it was like, yeah, I mean, it was like in Nashville, but it was like 40 minutes outside of Nashville. So we get there and it seems like it's going to be like a pretty normal gig. There's 5 bands on the bill. That should have been the first warning sign.
And only one of them was local.
I didn't know that,
shit.
actually. That's insane. So yeah, we get there and they're just like, yeah, you guys cool playing Fifth?
oh, are you serious?
And we're again, like I think you might have even been underage at that point too. I know I was
freshly 21.
Yeah,
at
we
that
were
point.
all like very young, very naive, and she's like, yeah, sure, thinking that these people brought friends to this gig. It's gonna go whatever. It's gonna be fine. First band is like this weird Primus knockoff that wears like
oh my god,
unitards.
What were they, like, tomato face?
Yeah,
I found the download card to that like 6 years later. And that, to be honest, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with them. They came out dressed as tomatoes.
I mean, they were fun. They were, they were the best part of the night.
They were from Philly, I think. They were
like actually on tour, like for real. Second band, I don't remember. I just remember the third act was this woman with like a keyboard.
They were from Lexington. I forget who it was.
Okay, but it was like a solo act, right? So there were like 5.
Oh, there was 2 of like a lady with keyboard, then a guy with a drum machine, and there was a lady with keyboard.
Yeah, and then there was some like butt rock band that played 4th, and they cleared the room.
Butt rock?
Like, yeah, like
I don't
They
know
were
if I
too
know
young
that.
to be doing butt rock.
but
it was just bad.
It was just maybe it was just bad. I mean,
butt rock.
Technically, like Nickelback.
Yeah,
like
Creed.
shitty rock.
Yeah.
Butt rock.
Right.
I remember that now.
Yeah, maybe they weren't actually, but that was what I thought of.
As a wise man.
Yeah, I think they were doing like shitty punk.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they were so loud. They cleared the room.
That
Played 4th right before us. Everybody went out on the patio to smoke.
I got drunk.
Scott got drunk, and we were just like berating the audience because it was like we were in the restaurant part of the venue, which was closed, and then the bar was next door.
Yeah, it
with
goes
like
through a big dividing.
Yeah, like it was not the same room. So like everybody's in the bar out on the patio, and we're playing this empty room. Every once in a while, the janitor comes by and sweeps something up, and we're just berating the audience from the other room, just like screaming at them.
I was already mad because I went to order a bourbon and Coke, and the bartender was like, "A what and Coke?" I was like, "A bourbon and Coke." They were like, "Well, we have Jack Daniels." I was like, "Do not pretend like you don't know what this is."
I mean, what in the world?
What?
Yeah, I was like, "You're 3 hours away from it. Like, don't act like
It's
it's
a bar. Like,
Yeah.
Just give me the
So,
bourbon.
You looked at me like I
money?
was an asshole.
This bourbon is fire. Bro.
Isn't it amazing?
Yes, it is. I'm trying to savor every
I know.
sip.
Yeah, I think needless to say, we did not get paid on that one.
At one point, I yelled like, "Up next, Kitty Chesney!"
Yeah.
we were just yelling because everyone just went outside.
We were hooting and hollering. We were having a good time though.
We did play really
Like
well.
we did. That's the unfortunate part.
An
the
empty
anger.
room, though. Nobody
always
heard
the
you or
best.
believes you.
Best shows to know.
Number 3, I know that one. You got to know
Oh
that
yeah.
one.
We'll
God, I'd forgotten about Fat Bites.
I tried to.
so, Scott, we'll start with you again. Who's just the last local artist that you listen to? It can be local to Louisville or just kind of the region area.
I was listening to Tyler's album earlier today. Tyler Lance Walker Gill. Shout out to Glamour. Love that
Dude,
guy.
that is a great album. He's a great dude. I know you
The
just
Talking Tuesdays.
Yep, every Tuesday I'm there. Yeah.
Oh, those are great. This week's gonna be good. It's got some good folks on it.
Is it Rhodey and Jake
it's
Rhodes?
Rhodey and Jake. So
That'd be dope.
that should be a good one. Not to plug somebody else.
We're all for it, dude.
Please
This
come.
is
Every
everybody. This is gonna
air long after that.
Every Tuesday.
Is there only a
I'm
couple
always,
more and then he's taking what's going on?
It is. He'll have. From my understanding, he was going to just put
Every
out a
Tuesday?
new list like at the every month. And
Oh,
he has,
okay.
like I know next month like Lance Rogers is coming through, which
Right
is
on.
I guess actually in October. So I know he has at least through that booked.
Sweet.
Yeah, come out if you're listening every Tuesday. Whirling
Talking
Tigers.
Tuesdays.
It is dope. There's some great acts there. So.
Yeah.
And every
Yeah, dude,
Wednesday, there's jazz night.
we are all about
Every Wednesday.
That's why we asked this question, man, because we want to know where people are playing, what's going on. That Tyler Lance Walker Gill
He's
record
the
a few
man.
years ago was
It was
on my
great.
top.
And his new one, dude,
Funniest
it's full
fucking
of good
guy.
songs.
That's
man.
all he does is write good songs. What are you talking about?
That's all he does. Yeah.
I'm always listening to
Is Yard
Tall
Selling on
Squares.
it?
It is.
Yard Selling
It
is the
Yard
best. I
Selling is on
listened.
there.
So he was on here by himself right when we started. I mean, probably within the first 15 or 20 one shots that we did. And he did Yard Selling. And I swear to you, I played that 1,000 times.
It's amazing.
I mean, 1,000 times. Just his version, 1,000 times.
He's
so
a
good.
great performer.
He's a great entertainer.
He's a great entertainer, and his band is about as electric as any band in town. I'm biased for them too.
Oh, no,
like I say,
yeah.
I pay for them to sit in on like they're my studio
don't
band,
have
but they're
to-
great,
you don't
man. I
have
love
to
them.
caveat
You do the
that.
all Roger Miller cover set.
That's like his shit, man. Yeah,
We'll just be like, shout him out.
He did that at he did that for us at BA Colonial when we did a couple
Nice.
Top Hill.
He did it at the Monarch recently too.
I saw him do that
Full
at the
Roger
Living
Miller
Room
set.
series. It was my first
He
time
did it.
seeing him.
He
too.
did
know
one
what?
at Whirling
No one
Tiger
did.
recently too.
Here's the thing about that, dude. Roger Miller's songs are 1:50 to like
That's what
2:10.
he said.
So
that
he
too.
covers
I
over
learned 30 of
200
them.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
do 100 songs to cover your time. That's crazy. I couldn't remember that many words, and all of them are wordy
There are
as shit.
so many
Yeah.
words, man.
So many
Yeah.
words.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Yeah, he's
Enough about it.
we've talked about him on this podcast.
Yeah, every
a ton.
time I'm on, I bring him up. He's like a big reason I got into music. He's a
Oh,
good
yeah,
dude.
nice.
Yeah, like listening to that. Like I said, I went to Ann because of him. and
Right.
He even sings backup on a couple of my singles. So
That's
yeah, I
cool.
really like him. It's been cool to know, and I really like Honky Tonk Tuesday. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Talking Tuesday.
What about you? Who's the last local artist you've listened to?
I've been listening to Darlington Paris a lot
Oh
because we
my
just played with
gosh,
them on
dude.
Thursday.
That's a.
I love that band.
That's
I see,
their,
I'm not
have you heard?
familiar.
Oh my
No.
god, dude! Watch their one shot
Yeah.
in here. They are just wild.
We played with them and Coda Batosai. I've been listening. Both
Coda's
of them
great.
are fantastic. And Shimona. Coda plays
Shimona's
for
gonna
them
be-
now.
Shimona's great.
Shimona will be
Yeah.
on here soon.
I've known Sam for a long time. We started at the open mics together in the Highlands, and
Nice.
I love her band. Yeah, that Casey has thrown together is one of the best in town. I think. Like he has
Yeah,
put
they're
together a
phenomenal.
great crew of people. So
Yeah.
Casey's a good dude. He's a great sound man too. He runs. I always like when he's running sound at the Tiger.
Oh, I didn't know he ran the time.
Every now and then he does.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the better sound people around. To my ear, I think he's attentive. He always adds a little extra stuff, which is cool.
I've
He's a good
worked
dude,
with him
great
at like
player.
Flamingo Lounge.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Which
R.I.P.
obviously has been RIP. But I didn't know he was still running sound. That's awesome.
Yeah, I see him every now and then doing stuff. Yeah, he's a great dude. I love Shimona. They're really fun. I wanted to catch them at a Big Stomp, but I had a show on Friday, so I missed her and Casey's set.
And you played with Taylor Catherine. Didn't
I
you?
did, yeah, and Kirsten Peckham, and I'll be with them on Friday too.
Where
at
at?
Flanagan's.
Flanagan's.
Yep.
The Flanagan's Ale House,
Yeah.
Baxter.
Yep. Yeah.
What time
Oh,
you
I saw
start?
that flyer.
7:00. I'm going. Yeah, I made that. I sent that flyer and it was really lame. And I was so stoned when I made it. And I was like, this is cool as shit. And I sent it. And then I'm like, how's this? And Blair over at Flanagan's is like, it's fine, it'll work. And I'm like, I looked at it. I'm like, man,
That's not a good answer.
It was so cool after them shrooms, but it didn't.
It's that font, man.
I know. It was like, I was like, whoa, this is a killer. And it is lame as shit, but it's just like, yeah, it's like an hour long on the patio. I hate playing. Like, I like a half-hour set. I like to just play my best songs and go sit down. But
Dude,
an hour is a
I
little
love a
longer.
tight 30, man.
Yeah, I love, dude. That's my shit. I like to talk during my set, man.
Do you do
It's
all
just-
originals when you play everywhere?
Me? Yeah, I always do all originals.
I could do a tight. Yeah, that'd be fun.
I love 30. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
can do more.
30?
But that's my favorite amount of time, 30 or 45. But to do a whole hour, I just like, I
Yeah.
feel like it just gets a little stale, especially just on the acoustic. But
Yeah, I think that all the time
it's
playing.
hard to like make it interesting.
You know, you're your own worst critic
Nah.
though.
Even when I'm watching like an hour, I don't always want to go out and watch someone play acoustic guitar for an hour either.
Yeah.
Even if they're good. I'm just like 30 minutes, get out of here.
Well, it depends on how long their songs are. Too.
That is
my
10 songs. You can get 10, 12 songs in half an hour.
Yeah.
for sure.
Half hour is perfect, but a whole hour, especially like some people's, is just like, man, it's too long. Like,
no, I mean my thing is a lot of my songs are 2:30, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
A lot of them aren't much longer than 4. So to play an hour means playing like 16, 17 songs.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It really is a long.
It makes it really feel like an hour.
Yeah.
Speaking of playing a song, man, why don't you?
Are we out of questions?
Yeah,
that was the third one.
That was it, man. So, what's this next one you're gonna play for us?
We're gonna do what's this called?
I don't know.
This is Who Do You Think You Are?
Maybe I should just go waste my time if it belongs to someone else. Maybe I should just break down and cry as if that's really any help. I guess I'll find out if I'm fine tomorrow with everybody else. Who do you think you are? And who do you think you could be? Maybe if I can just keep my head down, I won't feel the winter wind. Maybe if I read the final page, I'll be prepared for how it ends. But every time I barely make it through the day, another one begins. Who do you think you are? And who do you think you could be? Still, I'm only who I've ever been. Who do you think you are? And who do you
Yeah, man.
Another banger. Great picking, man.
Dude, yeah.
Really clean.
All right, Stuart, Scott, you guys both. Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram, Stuart Wicke, Wicke. On Facebook as Stuart Wicke Band. I haven't decided which one I am.
Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are, man? That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a solo act for so long that Instagram was older than Facebook, or my Instagram is older than Facebook, so that one's just my name, and then Facebook has band at the end. On Spotify, it has band at the end. But yeah, everything's under my name. I've got 5 records on Spotify. I've got 5 records on Bandcamp. I think they're all up on Bandcamp. Yeah, I post a lot from time to time anyway.
Post a lot.
Good post.
Scott, what about you, man?
I'm on all those social medias. My Instagram is Scoogle, SC00GLE. Goes way back. There you can find a link to my Bandcamp with a lot of weird, ambient, and noise recordings. Buy them if you dare. I also play drums with Phourist and the Photons. And
One of the, I mean, dude.
And Pleasure Boys. And the new band is with Michaela McKiernan and some other folks that are really good. Look out for an album release show announcement for that soon, next month.
Hey.
And,
Stay busy.
Wednesday night at the Whirling Tiger, I host a jazz night with Scott Boice and Company. I don't know who I have this week yet. I'm going to figure that out tonight. I got the next week though.
I think I can play that.
Yeah.
What's the date? August 24th.
Yeah. Do you want to play bass or guitar? Or
I can play bass. Do not put me on guitar.
Yeah, let's do it. I will find us. Maybe I'll get Kevin Dahl to play saxophone. Playing with that guy's always a blast.
Yeah.
There you go. Listen to this.
All right,
Putting things
we
together.
just figured it out. For you, maybe like a month ago, but for us, thank God, I was worried about it.
All right on. So, one more song. What do you want to take us out with?
We're gonna take us out with this actually has a bit of a intro to it, actually. So this is a new song. Unlike the other new songs, I do know what to say about this one. I got really into progressive rock I've always kind of been into progressive rock. I think we talked a lot about Pink Floyd last time I was here. So in 21, when I had nothing really better going on, I got into this poem from the 12th century by this Persian astronomer poet named Omar Khayyam. Fantastic translation of it from the 19th century. So it's, I don't know, it's just one of my favorite books now. But I decided I was going to set the whole thing to music. So it's all in verse. Like it's a poem. So it was like 74 or like 100. It depends on what version you got, like 100 of them. And I took 24 of them and set them to music. So that might be the next thing I release. Maybe it'll be out by the time this actually is ready to go.
That's great.
I've been sitting on that for a while, and the whole song is about 20 minutes long. And I just don't know what to do with a song that long, so I haven't done anything with it. So we're gonna play the first part of it, which is not 20 minutes long.
It's only 15.
What's the name of it? What's it called?
This is called Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, Part 1.
Awake for morning in the bowl of night, has flung the stone that puts the stars to flight, and lo, the hunter of the east has caught the Sultan's turret in a noose of light. Dawn's left hand was in the sky, I heard a voice within the tavern cry, awake, my little ones, and fill the cup before life's liquor in its cup runs dry. Now the new year reviving old desires, the thoughtful soul to solitude retires, where the white hand of Moses on the bough puts out, and Jesus from the ground suspires. garment of repentance fling. The bird of time has but a little way to fly, and lo, the bird is on the wing. Look, 1,000 blossoms with the day woke, and still 1,000 scattered into clay. And this first summer month that brings the rose shall take Jamshid and Keikobat away. With me along some strip of herbage strown that just divides the desert from the sown, where name of slave and sultan scarce is known, and pity Sultan Mahmud on his throne. Here with a loaf of bread beneath the bough, a flask of wine, a book of verse, and thou beside me singing in the wilderness.